Are you planning a cruise to Alaska? Maybe you're already booked and doing some research. Let's look at whether Hubbard Glacier is worth including on your itinerary or just not worth all the hype. We recently cruised on Celebrity Solstice out of Vancouver. Our cruise to Alaska last year did not include Hubbard Glacier, and we didn't intentionally seek out an itinerary to include it for this cruise. Let's just say we'll definitely plan our itinerary differently next time.
In Alaska waters, and as you can see behind us, we are cruising past and around Hubbard Glacier. If you have a chance to take an Alaskan cruise, please do it. I would just highly suggest it. It is amazing. There's nothing more beautiful than an Alaska landscape. So here's Hubbard Glacier for you.
About 200 miles northwest of Juneau, Hubbard is certainly gigantic. It's about 7 miles wide where it meets the ocean. The face is up to 400 feet tall, and icebergs 3 to 4 stories in height aren't uncommon. Granted, most of that ice is below water, around another 250 feet, but the ice can be so thick that cruise ships can't get too close. In the right conditions and with the right captain, however, your ship could get within a quarter mile of the face of the glacier. Weather and ice accumulations in the water will determine how close your cruise ship can get. Even in July, expect cold temperatures at the face of the glacier, so dress warmly in layers and remember to bring a hat, gloves, and sunglasses, of course, to prevent glare from the ice. During our solstice cruise, it was such a sunny day, there were folks wearing shorts up on the viewing deck. So if you haven't already heard, the packing mantra for Alaska is pack 4 layers.
We are on the 14th deck of the solstice. That will be a different deck, obviously, depending on the ship you're on. But the point of this little video is to remind you to get out to the deck early because this is the crowd. This is the side of the ship, and this up here is the front of the ship, and it is crazy packed, crowded. And you can see why. Look at the beauty of that view. But this is the crowd, and there's so many people that I can't even get through that right there to the other side of the ship. So again, reminder to get out here early and get your spot if you want a good view. On this particular ship, there is also another deck above us. We're on 14, and on 15, there's actually more space, as you can see up there, but that's also, as you can see, jam-packed.
While Hubbard Glacier is inside a national park, it is not a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so a park ranger won't board your vessel to give commentary while cruising to Hubbard Glacier. However, as on Solstice, some cruise lines sail with a knowledgeable naturalist, and during the cruise, they'll give presentations on the glacier and the surrounding landscape. So keep an eye out for those educational events on your cruise planner.
One of the other options to remember is if a balcony cabin works into your budget. Since the ship rotates, in fact, I think we've rotated probably twice now, is that you can sit out on your own private balcony and then see the entire glacier probably more than once, because again, we've rotated more than once here. We enjoyed being on the deck with everyone else and experiencing the emotion of seeing the ice fall off the glacier and just enjoying the breeze up on the deck. But if you just are able to afford a balcony cabin, it's a nice little luxury to just be able to enjoy the glacier on your private balcony.
If you prefer to be inside and didn't book a balcony, there are also inside venues for viewing on most all cruise ships. As an active ice field, Hubbard's movements cause the glacial ice to crack. Eventually, pieces fall from its face in a movement called calving. We enjoyed hearing the thunder before the ice falls. However, at 7 miles wide, it's often hard to predict where or when the calving will happen. So if you want to record a calving event, charge your battery and keep your camera rolling. Alaska cruises are open May through early October. Summer typically provides a higher frequency of glacier calving. As the temperatures rise, there's more movement at the glacier's face. Witnessing the calving was a real treat. Since calving can take place every 15 minutes and cruise ships spend anywhere from 1.5 to 4 hours at the glacier, there's a chance you'll see a few towers of ice hit the ocean.
So we have gone full circle. You can see we've rotated all the way around. The captain has come into this area and then rotated the ship around. So it doesn't really matter where you end up. If you're trying to crowd into the front of the ship, it's just not necessary because the ship will rotate and then head out the other direction. So no matter where you're standing, if you can wait, that is, for the ship to rotate and get there, you will get a beautiful view of the glacier and all of this beauty that's going to be behind you. It really is amazing. And down below us is the front part. I think it's only crew right now that's allowed down there, but it's beautiful. Everyone is commenting on some ice falling off the glacier right now. People ooh and ah and holler, so make sure you keep your cameras on, close to record, so that as we've shown you here, I got some footage of a couple pieces of ice falling off the glacier. It's beautiful. And yet another option is an excursion, a single little boat that takes you out a little bit closer to the glacier. You can see them down here. They're reboarding from their excursion, and it takes you, again, we could see the little boat and it wasn't a whole lot closer than where we were here on the big boat, but it might make a difference for you and it might fit into your budget, and you could be a little bit closer to the glacier for better pictures. So that's another option for you too.
At a cost of around $300 to $500 per person, the excursion isn't cheap though. The two-story craft provides plenty of open-air deck for unobstructed views, and below, the interior heated cabin allows guests to stay warm if they prefer to forego the open area. On our cruise, we talked to some folks who paid for that excursion, and because the weather was so clear on our sailing, the cruise ship itself got just as close as a smaller vessel did. They were pretty disappointed they spent the money. However, it's just impossible to predict the weather and know how close the cruise ship will be able to get, so they took a chance in hopes of getting a better view. If your budget is limited, keep that in mind when considering this excursion.
Look for an itinerary that includes Hubbard Glacier and you will not regret it. Thanks so much for stopping by to All Things Wagner. Like and subscribe below if you want more cruise and travel information, and have a blessed day.